All right, guys, this is the second challenge lock from Dark Arts Lockpicking. This is the L1. I was a little confused. L1, and he also had a L2, and I didn't know which one. I just assumed 2 would be a higher level. Well, he got a whipped it lock out of it, so he might very well get a level 1 whipped it lock out of this one, too. Also, if I'd paid a little more attention to this, I would have got that association with Sherlock Holmes. Instead of calling the meerschaum pipe a steaming pile of cooked snake. So I guess it is a pipe and part of the Sherlock Holmes. I don't know what the relationship is. I have no clue. All I know is I do have a key. And hopefully we don't need that key. But if it's anything like his L2 elementary lock, I might very well need it. I will say, Thor, I had a little accident in the lab here. I put a little too much pressure on this guy. If you'd like to send me the STL file for this, I would love to have it so I can print a fresh one. I'll write your name on that one too. All right. Okay, not a lot of play. Let's zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to pick it clockwise, so I'll put it right here. And I store these upside down. Might just be time to buy another one. Or maybe I'm just going from the wrong angle. There we go. I store them with the tip down, but that doesn't always help, seems like. Okay, let's try. Let's see what we got first. He swore there were no super springs. This is my 15,000th rat yoke, and he's caught. Let's try something else. Let's try a 13,000th. And that fits, okay. And I'm counting 6. And I don't feel super spring. That's great. Let's see what we got here. All right, light tension. It is a challenge lock. Whoa. All right. It popped into a good false set. And I didn't lose it when I dropped the tension wrench. That was quite a deep fault set. Now I'm not getting anything else. So, wait a minute. There we go. Pin 4, a little counter rotation on him. Very little. I'm about to drop the tension wrench. It's so light. Come on. About to break my pick, too. Come on. He's really unwinding there. All right. I might have to put another pick in there before I break my 13,000th. There we go. Wow. Okay. I'll take it. Still got a fault set. Telling me I'm hooked up on something with a narrow waist. Probably a spool or something like that. There it is. 5. Okay, a little bit deeper fault set. That felt like a T-pin. I didn't get any counter rotation from him. He just slid into place, kind of like that one. I think L2 must be the higher level of complexity. The L1, I don't know. I don't know, guys. At least I got this one open. I don't have to give out another pack lock, right? Let's go ahead and see what, let's go ahead and see what he's got in here. And it left the frame, so it no longer counts. But I'm going to open it anyway. All right, here we go. Let's see what the key looks like. Okay, that's 2 meters of tape. I wish there was a way to recycle this. I could use it around the lock lab. Wow, looky here. That is nice. Get in there. There we go. Does work. Gets a little hung up. There we go. It does work, but it does get hung up. But it works, so it counts as a valid challenge lock. Come on, it's got to be lined up, Bill. Get it lined up and pull it out of there. There you go. Let's take that clip off and see what we got. All right, a little bit of trickiness here. I am going to put a shim in it. I'm going to rotate him about 45 degrees like that so it doesn't line up with one of those slots. Now if we can squeeze one of these in there, we're good to go. And he doesn't want to go. All right, let's line the key up and see if he'll slide in when the shear line is supposedly perfect. And the answer is no. How about the other way? Nope. All right, I'm going to apply pressure and I'm going to jiggle the key. There we go. Keep going, keep going. That ought to be good. Now I just got to turn it like so to line them up like that. And prepare for a gutting disaster, right? So far, so good. All right, we got a couple of grind marks here on number 1 and number 2. I don't know why. Maybe they'll be... Oh, and also on number 6. Looks like number 3 is almost like one of his traps, but it doesn't appear to be one. All right, let's pull these bad boys out. Serrated. 2 is it's got serrations and a spool. Number 3 is, I can't describe it. I just got to show it to you. I don't know how to describe that. I would say it's very spool-like. Whoa. But it's got some awful sharp, and it's awful hard to hold. It's got grease on it, that's it. Very nice little pin. I wouldn't know what to call them though. Probably a double spool. Be a good explanation. Those sharp edges, if there's something sharp in there, and there is, well, we'll look at that in just a minute. All right, 4. It is a spool. 5. Doesn't want to come out. Got a little bit of convincing. He's a standard. And then the last one is got a serration on top and a spool. All right, Dark Arts always puts a lot of work in the core. So that first one appears to be threaded. Number 2 is undercut. There we go. 2 is very deeply undercut. Number 3 also undercut. 4 undercut. 5 standard, and then 6 is threaded. So let's flip it around. I'm really interested in number 2, and that almost looks like a trap. Number 1 threaded, undercut. Okay, we have deep undercut on 2. 3 and 4 are also undercut, and then 5, of course, or 6 is threaded. And I'm just curious if this guy... Well, let's go ahead and pull everything out of the Bible and see what we got. Because something is designed to grab that trap. All right, there's our standard pin. Had to be 1 in there. Steel pin, or steel spring. There we go. There's that real sharp thing that I would expect to find on that deeply undercut number 2. That's perfect. And I said no super springs, and I didn't feel any super springs, but there's a dual spring. All right, number 3. Number 3, I think you can see there's a little T-pin thing sticking up there. I'm going to try to hold him with the tip of this and then move. There we go. That wasn't part of the plan, but we had a little T-pin inverted. Point down. There we go. Steel spring. Number 4. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen one of those in a while. These usually come out of German locks. Let me set everything down real quick. This is beautiful. If he made this himself, this is amazing. And I believe it is homemade. Check this out. We have little washers on here. Just this is a double, it looks like. A couple of singles. And I'm just curious how he did that. If this must be, I'm not going to take it apart, but this last piece here must be threaded on the inside. That's amazing. I'm surprised I got through that one. Beautiful, beautiful work on that. All right, where were we? We were on this guy, weren't we? I got to grab that spring out of there for number 4. And it's a steel one and a lot longer. It's an ASA spring out of an ASA lock. All right, number 6. Little T-pin just barely sitting there. I think that was the last one I picked, and I just barely had to touch him. Come out of there. I said he was a T-pin, but he is a 2-parter. And it looks like the base of, there's the hollow outer shell. That was number 6. And the bottom part of it is actually caught in the spring. Check that out. Oops, I just popped out the one. Okay, so it was a dual, no, I'm sorry, single spring, and there's the pin sticking out. So that was 6, and number 5 popped out, and I got a little carried away there. Looks like another homemade, a lot of serrations on this guy. Very fine work. I don't think that's a 2-parter. I'll take a look. Let me get this spring out first. I'm trying to avoid it. I've almost got this thing gutted. I don't want to blow it right here at the end. Double check. Yeah, we're good. All right, we do have some modifications on the inside of the core. Let's start from the front here. Number 2 is threaded. Number 6 is threaded, and I think that is about it. Let's be sure. He went to a lot of work on this lock. Let's see if I can just slide this off real quick. Try not to damage it so I can just slide it back. Yeah, the only 2 are threaded are 2 and 6. The rest of them are all standards. All right, let's take a look at these pins, guys. Let me first look at number 5 before I pick him up, because I know I'll drop him. See if it is a 2-parter. No, it's a single part. Okay, cool. Here is what we're looking at. In the core, we had only one standard pin. All the rest of these were handmade and designed to grab a hold of either serrations, which would be these serrated guys, or the undercuts. Number 2 was undercut, and you can see this was actually part of a trap that by some miracle I missed falling into. Number 3, we had an inverted T-pin with double spool on the bottom. Number 4, a homemade spool. And then I don't know how many hours he put into this guy, but all of these are floating rings. Dark Arts, I would love to know how you did that. 5, as I said, it was standard, and this is the one I actually thought was a homemade 2-part pin, but it's not. It's just a reduced diameter with a very sharp T-pin and a bunch of little serrations on him. And then number 6 was a we had a spool and a little serration. And then this guy had the pin embedded in this tiny spring, which then fit down inside of him, just like that. I think this probably was a more complex lock than the previous one, and much more intricate handwork on all of these pins. But because this only had a single trap rather than 3 traps, like the other Sherlock lock that got me, I think I managed to pure luck bypass that trap and managed to pick the rest of the pins. Anyway, guys, I appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Dark arts lock picking. You don't get another pack lock, but there is one on the way to you already, so appreciate all the work you put into this. Thanks, guys. If you like the idea of growing the Locksport community, please consider supporting the Lock Lab by either becoming a Patreon or clicking the join button below.